What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another FPL video. My name is Mo, and today I'll be going through my team selection for Game Week 2. We'll also be revealing how I did in Game Week 1, what my transfer plans are. I'll be also revealing my wildcard, which I've decided to play for Game Week 2, and the rationale behind it, what my thought process was, and why I'll be playing that so soon and so early in this season. So we'll reveal that before we get into all the information around my team selection and how I did in Game Week 1. If you're new around here, hit that like button. Also, please do subscribe as well. The channel is fast growing and we're looking to hit 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So let's get stuck in, guys. How did I do in Game Week 1? So I got a total of 80 points. So overall, before the game week started, I was kind of hoping to get 75 or more. 80 I'll happily take. In terms of ranking, it's not really that important at the moment, I would say, in the first 10 game weeks. So out of nearly 9 million managers, I'm ranking around the 700k mark, which I'll take happily, but it's not too far. It's very congested in terms of, like, being in the top 100k, even as close as 1 mil as well. So it's quite congested. So it'll be interesting to see how those ranks will kind of like overall take shape by game week 8 to maybe 10 or 12. So not too worried about that at the moment, but happy with 80 points. I got over the average 64, and we'll review how my team has done, and then later we'll go through what my team will look like in game week 2, which actually is a wildcard team, by the way, guys. So stay tuned and do have a look at my squad selection. So let's go from the back in itself. So Onana, extremely lucky to come away with a clean sheet. I'm going to be honest, I'm wearing a United shirt. I'm a United fan. It was definitely a penalty. But there was 2 penalties this weekend that should have taken place. The first one should have been that Jackson handball. I don't actually understand how that is in a natural position, but also Onana absolutely flattening the opposition player in any, in the penalty area. But if that happened anywhere else on the pitch, definite foul, maybe even a booking as well. So absolutely lucky to come away with the clean sheet, plus 1 bonus point as well. So overall, he came away with 9 points, and he got save points as well. I think he got 6 saves overall. So as an Onana kind of owner, really happy. Obviously, Leno got a brace of around 12 points, but 9 points in his first game at home against Wolves. And Wolves were fantastic, guys. Manchester United did not play well at all. I thought maybe after the 20 minutes they'll kind of, kick into gear, probably get into action, but no, they did not at all. Wolves actually dominated pretty much the entire game. And I think there was one player in there that's really impressed me. That I think his name is Mateus Cunha. Really impressed me. That guy can run at players, and he's 5.5 mil. Up front, might be a good differential option, but I really enjoyed watching him play. He was actually running at the United midfield, causing all sorts of problems for the defensive line as well. And I'm so surprised after 26 attempts that they did not come away with at least 1 goal. And it was terrible refereeing, guys. But Onana got me, the lucky clean sheet as well. But in terms of fixtures coming up, Spurs away next week. I think Spurs should score past them. The way we defended, if Spurs turn up like the way they did against Brentford, I don't think it'll be a 0-0 by any stretch of the imaginations, but a few save points potential. But overall, some really good fixtures lining up for Manchester United, but lucky to come away with a clean sheet. Next, I want to talk about my 5.5 mil forward. I'm really messing. It's Chilwell. So he played pretty much as a left winger, according to Pochettino afterwards of the game. This guy was phenomenal. He's already gone up in price to 5.6 mil, 7 points. Had a goal ruled off or offside, so it could have been another, 4 or 5 points and a few more bonus points. But he did really well. 7 points to come away against Liverpool, who played really well. He come off at the 89th minute, not really disappointed. He got a good run out, and we kind of know how they're going to play now. So out of the 2, if you're going to pick either of Chilwell or Reece James, again, it solidifies my argument from pre-season. I would rather go for Ben Chilwell. And in terms of Chelsea fixtures that are coming up, eventually we want to have more players from Chelsea in itself. But if you manage to get him before the price rise, absolutely fantastic, like myself. If not, definitely do try fitting him into your squad, guys. Whether you got $500,000 in your bank at the moment or 1 mil, I would spend that extra cash to bring him into your squads. A really good pick. Looks a really good player for this season. And then we've got Saliba. So I already had him in my squad anyway, but I was quite fortunate to find out that Gabriel will not be starting, so I kind of was able to take him out. But Saliba was lucky with the assist. I'll take it for the Saka goal. Got me 5 points. Could have been about 12 if they didn't concede, because he had bonus points and clean sheet points as well. But can't dwell upon that. But he played the full 90 minutes. He did what Saliba does. Was pretty rock solid. Forest did bring the attack. Well, I should say Nottingham Forest did bring the attack to Arsenal near the end of the game. But however, they did score but they didn't win the game. But I think, with Arsenal's fixtures that are coming up as well, if you've got Saliba, do keep him. And if you've got Gabriel, I wouldn't take him out now, considering you've got more information moving forward. The only kind of like downside about Gabriel is even with the injury to Timber, it wasn't him who came on to replace him. It was Tomiyasu. So is this just a change of system? Was it just for one game? He played pre-season, so I'm not entirely sure what plan for Arteta is. But if you've got Gabriel at the moment, please do keep him. And then we've got Akanji. So I was quite fortunate, as I mentioned, to find out about Gabriel not starting. So I was able to bring in Akanji because I got team news from Man City before the deadline. 6 points. Just what Akanji usually does, pretty stable at the back, got a clean sheet away. So a nice 6 points there for me. In terms of keeping him long term, I'm not entirely sure, but there's a lot of injuries at the back for Man City, so maybe Guardiola might get like a run out soon, but it was good to come in for that 1 week punt. Happy with Akanji, and his ownership's gone up since then. And then, of course, the Stupinator, we discussed a lot about him on my channel, on other platforms during pre-season. What a performance, It's a shame he didn't get a clean sheet, but otherwise he hit pretty much every nail on the head. He's like a winger or a striker for 5 mil in your defensive line, almost owned by 55% of managers. Took all 3 bonus points at the end, got an assist as well. Could have had a goal. Could have had a couple of more assists if Brighton were more clinical. For example, Welbeck up front was wasteful, but this guy was a machine. I know the fixtures do get tough from game week 4 onwards, and I've always had my reservations around that. And I know Luton was an easy fixture for game week 1, but let's just not take any credit away from Brighton. They were phenomenal. They played really well. Despite the loss to McAllister, I still think, I wasn't expecting that much of a comfortable performance or, a run out from them. So really well done to them. Going to keep him for now. Pretty much nailed on to play every single game. Might get rotated later with European football, but highly doubt it. But he's going to stay for now. And now for the biggest disappointment of the weekend. It started dreadfully for me. So I was really excited to hear that De Bruyne started. And, I kind of thought he would actually be on the bench and would come on for about 20 minutes and get a full workout. Like a workout for the full games in Seville midweek and Newcastle the following week after. But he got a start, and within 22 minutes he actually played really well. I was just really unlucky, like myself and other owners. He got injured. He actually played pretty well, even for their first goal. There was a wicked ball that he whipped in to the far post, and it was whipped back in. He got into those positions and he was looking threatening. However, it's a shame he's out for about 4 months, according to Pep Guardiola today. So he's gone down in price as well due to transfers. So Kevin De Bruyne was kind of like, my 2 premium draft, and I do have an alternative, hence why I'm playing the wild card so early on. But it's a shame he's gone, but otherwise I was really happy with the way I started off my squad. And 80 points, I'll take it. It's a good start. And De Bruyne could have been a massive differential for me, especially with the fixtures coming up and the way he was looking. Just a shame he got injured. But I've got a plan, which is a backup plan, and I'll make sure that will come through as well. But otherwise, pretty disappointing. But what this does in essence is it gives opportunities to people like Foden, Alvarez to get more minutes. It just depends on who will come in to cover, or if they sign anyone else in the remaining transfer window. And then my most unluckiest player, could have had a few returns, was Eze. Opportunities, his XG and XA, expected goal involvement was amazing, but only 3 points. But not to worry, I think better is to come from him. The fixtures aren't too great moving forward, but overall had a good game, was on set pieces, did what he did last season, but unfortunately they just didn't finish off his good kind of setups as well. But a lot of people have moved away from Eze, but I want to keep faith in him because I think I've seen enough from him pre-season and last season to know that he will come good for me eventually. And then the guy who scored the best goal this weekend for me, which was Bukayo Saka. What a goal. 10 points. If you captained him, shout out to you. You didn't lose out much in terms of captaining him versus Haaland, but a really, really solid performance. His ownership's now gone nearly 64%, so a lot of people are getting him in. He's gone up in price as well. Good fixtures lined up, nailed on penalties, I'd say, as well at the moment. And he's just amazing, guys. Bukayo Saka, if you've got a squad and you're playing this for the first time this season, do get him into your squad. He's really good for his price, and Arsenal do have some really good fixtures coming up. And then moving on to my Manchester United duo, so Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford. Not the best of games for Manchester United, as already mentioned. In terms of attack, absolutely disappointing. The goal came through via our 2 defenders, Van Bissaka and Rafael Varane. So I knew there was about 200,000 managers, if I'm not wrong, that had both. So well done to them if you did own both of them. But again, disappointing for me. This is not a knee-jerk, but I do believe there's better to come from United. But there's a reason why we only scored 58 goals last season, guys. We were dreadful in front of goal, and at home I expected a better forward line, but it doesn't mean you should rush off and get rid of them. If I wasn't wildcarding, I'd definitely keep both of these guys in my squad. But Bruno, you know, he'll get his returns, but had a disappointing game. And the same goes for Rashford. Came off early, around 87 minutes. Didn't have a good game at all. I think Garnacho was quite awful. Brutally honest, I'm a big fan of him, but he had a terrible game. Probably his worst game in United colours. United looked better once Eriksen and Sancho came on. Sancho was our best player, in my opinion, attacking-wise. But I think there's better to come from Rashford. I think it was just basically a disappointing overall performance by Manchester United. So we shouldn't knee-jerk too much around the United strikers. They've got some really good fixtures coming up. And then we've got the Mr. Reliable, Erling Haaland, delivered. If you captain him, it made your Friday night and the weekend more sweeter. Almost 91% of managers own him, and he hasn't gone up in price yet, which is quite surprising. I think it will go up very soon. But 13 points is 14 million too cheap. Will he be 15 million next season? I think people still own him. He started off 2 goals, 2 shots. I think he had all game, and he had a couple of touches in the game, and he scored 2 goals. Come off at 79 minutes. Got 13 points. Some people triple captain him and got a big score. So, Erling Haaland did what he did. And with the City fixtures coming up, it's going to be hard to go against him in terms of captaincy, barring Salah, obviously, in Game Week 2. So that's how my Game Week 1 team did do, guys, and 80 points. Happy with that. Let's now review my Game Week 2 team selection, which will be a wild card. So let's go for it, guys. So this is what it looks like. So we've moved away from the 4-5-1 formation, and I've gone to a 3-5-2. So I'm not going to go through exactly what I've changed, but it's quite obvious in terms of the players that I have changed. So I will tell you the players that have come in and who's come into my squad. So I've got Onana, who remains in my squad. So Manchester United do have some difficult and some, I'd say, relatively comfortable fixtures over the next couple of weeks, but he's a set and forget. I'm not going to even change him during my wild card. There is temptations of someone cheaper like Leno or even Turner, but now, Onana will stay. Spurs always going to be a tough game. Then Nottingham Forest at home. Arsenal always going to be a tough game. Brighton at home is going to be a tough game. Burnley always going to be a tough game for me as well. So Crystal Palace home, Brentford, Sheffield United. They look fairly comfortable on difficulty rating, but I think Onana will get a few clean sheets and save points, and maybe even bonus as well, like last night. So he will remain in my squad. So I've gone for 3 defenders at the back rather than 4. So Estupiñán stays. Fixtures look good. Game week 4 and 5 look challenging, but we're looking for attacking returns, which certainly can come. And then Bournemouth, Villa, and then there's a few challenging fixtures, but I still want to keep him. I've seen a lot of good things from him this weekend. So Estupiñán will stay in my squad, and I'm going 3 at the back. So I brought in Reece James. So he's selected by about 18% of managers now. So he had a good game against Liverpool, just didn't get a return. A few good set pieces that came in. He came off early. There was a doubt that he might be injured, but that got clarified by Poch later. It was just tiredness. In terms of fixtures, including the West Ham game, I think they're phenomenal all the way up to Game Week 8. And I want to double up with Chilwell and Reece James. So Chilwell remains. So I've got a double up, and I want to take advantage of these fixtures all the way up to the Arsenal game in Game Week 9. If both are fit, they only play once a week. I'm happy to take that risk and have both of them in my defence. So that's what my backline looks like. Onana, Estupiñán, James and Chilwell. Now, in the midfield, I brought in Mbembo. So this guy was phenomenal during the Spurs game that I watched over the weekend. I felt so nervous not owning him. He could have had another goal, which he kind of missed from like 5 yards out, but this guy played amazing, convictional. I say he's got a lot of conviction in terms of how he finishes, barring that one shot that he missed, but he's very good on the ball, runs it in terms of the game flow for Brentford, and their fixtures just get better afterwards. This was the only game that I was most nervous about, but Fulham, Palace, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Everton, Forest, I think are good fixtures to go for, and in terms of 6.5, I do believe, along with Eze, he is the best 2 options. So Eze will remain. We're not going to talk too much about, what happened on the weekend, as we already have done. But fixtures-wise, a bit of a mixture. Elise potentially is going to Chelsea, as reported today. But Arsenal at home, it'll be a difficult game, but who knows? He could get a goal for us. And then Brentford, Wolves, Aston Villa, Fulham. There's good fixtures there, even Forest in Game Week 8, that I want to take advantage of, but I don't want to get rid of him. So I'm going for 2 6.5 midfielders. Then I want to move slightly forward ahead. Rashford will remain. Still, he's around 50% owned by managers. Fixtures-wise, we've discussed already. Good fixtures. Main striker for now is Højlund isn't fully fit for Game Week 2, I would say, even up to maybe Game Week 3. But I'd rather keep Rashford. So I've got rid of Bruno. So I've gone just for Rashford from Manchester United. And Bukayo Saka remains in the squad as well. Good fixtures for Arsenal, Palace, Fulham, Everton, Bournemouth, game week 7. So I've only got one player from Arsenal in my squad. I know a lot of people will be surprised, but I've got Saka. I've gone for a spread of good players across different teams, so Saka remains in there for me. And then the last midfielder and my captain for this week is going to be Mo Salah. Now this guy was phenomenal for the first 35 minutes of the game. He could have had such a big haul, which people don't understand. He's come away with 5 points. He could have had a goal, which was ruled out for offside. He hit the bar. He also could have had a penalty with that Jackson incident. So he could have come away to maybe 15 to 20 points, including bonus. And then everyone would have been on the bandwagon. And he came off angry after 76 minutes. But what people don't understand is he averaged around 87, 88 minutes per game last season. And they had 11 minutes of extra time in the first half. So he's played around 86, 87 minutes, which is understandable. And they wanted some fresh legs on there. So I'm not too disappointed about that. So he started. I think he's the most nailed starter. And this fixture, my backup plan was having, I didn't want to have Salah originally, but my backup plan was if everything went wrong, then if I do play a wild card, which I have done in this situation, I want Salah for game week 2. I want to captain him at home. I was behind the sofa in that Chelsea game, and this guy was just absolutely phenomenal. He was relentless. I think he's charged up. He's going to be ready to go, and I think, if Liverpool do score, he should have some input in it. And that through ball was absolutely amazing, absolutely phenomenal to what he played to Diaz. So I think Mo Salah's coming for me. He's going to be captain. I'm going against the main captainers for Haaland. He's owned by about 29% of managers, which has gone up, guys. People have seen a lot of good things, but I think that would have been far higher if he'd come along with a big haul. But Mo Salah's in my squad, and he is going to be my captain. So after all, we did get it right. So Kevin De Bruyne getting injured, I do get my wish of Salah being captain for game week 2. Will I live to regret it? No idea, but hey, let's give it a shot. If it works out for me, my rank will go really, really well. And then I've brought in João Pedro, so he got a penalty. We know he's the penalty taker, 5.5 mil. So I had an option to either play Jackson up front and use the remainder money in midfield for Salah, or I could play Salah and a 5.5 million forward. Now, there's two ways I'm looking at this. If João Pedro down the line gets dropped or benched, I don't doubt it. I don't think he'll be dropped that often. He might get benched here and there, but he won't get dropped for 4 games in a row. Let's say if that did happen, then I've got an option to look at alternative 5.5 million strikers. There's Morris from Luton. I liked Mateus from Wolves last night. There are options there available. And let's say if I don't want another striker, I could go back to 4-5, want to bring in a kind of defender from 5.5 mil or below if I wish to, because I've got the funds. So at the moment, João Pedro, with the fixtures that are coming up, he's on penalties and he came off around 87 minutes. He played longer than I thought. And I thought I'd get on to him as soon as I could, because there are some good fixtures like Wolves and West Ham to play. So he comes in as my second striker. And then Haaland will be my vice captain. They're going to be playing Newcastle at home. It's a tough game, guys, by the way. 5-1 victorious. So I think Man City will win. It's just about, if he gets a big haul and Salah blanks, that's going to affect me badly. But I'm going to take the risk and I'm going to be playing Salah as my captain. But Haaland is my vice captain in my squad. So the bench, I brought in Turner as a 4 mil goalkeeper, starting goalkeeper for Nottingham Forest, and then I've got Baldock, who'll remain. He played 90 minutes. I brought in Semenyo, so he got a goal and an assist, and he came off the bench for 15 minutes. So I'm getting a few minutes out of him here and there. And then Kabore I brought in as well as another 4 mil kind of wing back for Luton. I know they got a blank this game week, but I was impressed with what I saw. They only got 63 minutes today. I'm pretty satisfied with what he did in terms of what I saw from him. So that's why I brought him into my squad. Not too concerned about my bench, but I'm really liking my outfield squad. 3-5-2. I've invested in Salah. I'm going to be captaining him, guys. So that is my wild card played. I know a lot of people said to me it's more of a knee-jerk or whatnot, but I slept on it. I thought about it, and I thought to myself, look, I had a plan of getting James in, and then I had I'm not going to take hits this early on. I'm just going to play my wild card. That's pretty much nailed it into my squad. I'm really happy with how it looks. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you like this squad? And let me know what your thoughts are in terms of your team week selection. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. I'll be doing this on a weekly basis in terms of my team selection. Best of luck for this week. I'll be back with a deadline stream later this week. Take care. Join the league. Hit that subscribe button and like button too if you like the content you saw. Take care, and I'll see you soon.